England are through to the World Cup round of 16, but instead of celebration, there is absolute panic in the camp. Next up, a trip into the Lion's Den, the iconic, hostile, high-altitude cauldron that is the Estadio Azteca, to face host nation Mexico on Sunday, July 5th, with kickoff at a brutal 1 a.m. UK time. Now, look, we all know how it goes. The moment a major tournament kicks off, suddenly every single person in England becomes a professional tactical coach. From the pubs in London to the studios on TV, everyone's got an opinion on who should start, who should get dropped, and exactly how the team is doing it wrong. And right now, the self-appointed coaches are screaming. England needed a Harry Kane brace in the final 15 minutes just to turn around a 1-0 deficit against DR Congo, coming from behind to win 2-1. Pundits are sounding the alarm. If England plays with that same nervy start against Mexico in front of 80,000 fans at altitude, they are getting sent home. But let's ground ourselves in reality. While the armchair managers think they've got the answers, if there is anyone on the planet who has proven he can navigate a tactical crisis, solve a selection nightmare, and peak at the perfect moment in knockout football, it's Thomas Tuchel. He's proven that pedigree at the highest level, repeatedly. He's built for this, and he's going to need every ounce of that genius because his starting situation right now is a total mess. We're looking at a brutal selection crisis at right back, and it's just spilled into a public row with an England legend. Wayne Rooney has gone on BBC and effectively accused Tuchel of dropping the ball, saying he should have picked up the phone to a retired England icon the moment the injuries started piling up. Let's break down exactly how this defensive way and why one former Premier League manager is calling Tuchel's emergency fix a really bad move. Let's start with the defense, because England enter the knockout stages with a genuine problem. Injuries have gutted the fullback positions. Tino Livramante is out, Reece James is sidelined, and Tuchel had already made the eyebrow-raising call to leave both Trent Alexander-Arnold and Kyle Walker out of the squad entirely, trusting a younger generation to come through. Then, after England scraped past DR Congo, Wayne Rooney lit the fuse. Analyzing the defensive display, he said, and I'm quoting him directly here, "The minute Livramante got injured, Tuchel should have been on the phone to Kyle Walker." Rooney's argument is simple. Walker's still playing every week for Burnley. He's still elite, and England are now down to their fifth choice option at right back. That's not a crisis, that's an emergency. But here's the twist. Walker himself isn't asking to come back. When put to him, he stood firm. "I would always have tried to be there for my country, but my time is up. I retired for a reason. I thought it was time for the pathway for the next generation to come through." He even pointed out that Trent, arguably the best right back on the planet, was overlooked too. So this isn't a legend demanding a recall, it's a legend watching from his sofa while his manager scrambles. Because of that gap, Tuchel has been forced into pure improvisation. England have now used 5 different players at right back across the tournament, including center-backs Jarell Quansah and Ezri Konsa, converted winger Jed Spence, and most strikingly, midfield anchor Declan Rice, dropped completely out of position. Former West Ham boss Alan Pardew didn't hold back on TalkSport, calling the prospect of playing Rice at right back against Mexico a really bad move. And it's easy to see why. Rice is the engine room of this England midfield. He's the player who lets Bellingham roam and lets the back four sleep at night. Pull him out to fullback and you've weakened 2 positions to strengthen 1. But when your alternative is a converted center back with 0 natural pace to deal with wide runners, does Tuchel actually have a choice? Even if Tuchel somehow fixes the right back puzzle, England has to face an opponent that doesn't wear a shirt: geography. Estadio Azteca sits more than 7,000 feet above sea level, thinner air, brutal afternoon heat, and a stadium that has genuinely never seen Mexico lose a World Cup match inside it, unbeaten in 10 matches there across history. South American football expert Tim Vickery put out an explicit warning aimed straight at the England camp in a video literally titled, "Tuchel, please watch this." His point is, if England tries to play with their usual high-octane Premier League press, they will run out of gas fast. Teams that show up to altitude without a plan for pacing themselves get taken apart in the final half hour once the legs go and the crowd smells blood. Henry Winter, alongside him, made a similar point about mentality rather than fitness. English sides are conditioned to go up and at 'em from minute one, but at altitude, that instinct is a trap. You have to be willing to sit deeper, let Mexico have the ball in areas that don't hurt you, and make the hosts do the sprinting in the thin air, not you. Play an open end-to-end game here, and Mexico's pace out wide tears into whichever makeshift fullback Tuchel picks. And let's not undersell the opponent, because Mexico are flying. Javier Aguirre's side won Group A with a perfect record, beating South Africa, South Korea, and Czechia without conceding a single goal before brushing Ecuador aside 2-0 in the round of 32, becoming the first CONCACAF nation ever to knock out a South American team at a World Cup. Up front, this is not a one-man show, it's layered. Javier Jimenez has scored in back-to-back matches and is now Mexico's second highest all-time goal scorer. Julian Quiñones has been a constant threat from wide areas, and breaking through underneath them is Gilberto Mora, the tournament's youngest player and arguably its most exciting teenager. With a home crowd pushing 80,000 screaming fans behind them, the pressure is entirely on England to survive the opening 20 minutes. Weather that storm and silence the stadium, and the pressure flips onto the hosts. Concede early here, though, and it is genuinely game over. So what's the verdict? If Thomas Tuchel's men pull this off, surviving the Azteca, beating an unbeaten Mexico on home soil, and setting up a potential run through Brazil and Argentina, it will arguably be one of the greatest single achievements in the history of the England national team. But to get there, they have to stop relying purely on individual rescue acts from Harry Kane. They need defensive discipline, a controlled tempo that respects the altitude, and a prayer that whoever lines up at right back can handle the toughest 90 minutes of his career. My prediction? It's going to be an absolute thrimmer. I'm backing the lads for a tight, nerve-shredding 3-2 win, but don't be shocked if the Azteca claims another big European scalp instead. What do you think? Can Thomas Tuchel's pedigree get England through this makeshift backline crisis, or should he have swallowed his pride and called Kyle Walker himself? Let me know in the comments. Hit subscribe for the post-match reaction, and I'll see you in the next one.